What was the highest waste of money that you don't regret? Too young to marry said, when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, a year after my dad died unexpectedly from cancer, I went to the animal aid thrift shop, bought a bunch of odd dishes, put down a drop cloth, and threw them at my house while screaming bloody murder. I don't regret 1 second of that temper tantrum or 1 dime I spent to make it happen. I eventually made a couple of beautiful mosaics out of the pieces. And my mom is 6 months cancer-free. Cassidy said, exactly 1 year ago I got my private pilot license. So much money went into it, and now it costs a lot of money to keep it by flying. I don't regret it at all, very cool feeling to go flying. Call me muddled said, my Nintendo Switch. It's the Animal Crossing edition and I just needed it. Video is my life said, a quick 7-day trip to Maui in February a couple years ago with one of my teenage daughters, who happened to be free the same week I had off. Work was grinding me down, and I needed a break. My wife and the rest of the family couldn't go, they were working or in school. The tickets were expensive, $850 each for bare-bones economy narrow rock-hard seats. It was a 12-hour flight that was packed to the brim. I was getting bedsores by the time we arrived. We rented snorkeling gear and a car and spent every day from dawn to dusk snorkeling, sitting on the beaches and hiking in the mountains. We did the Hana Road, the 7 sacred pools in the Haleakala Volcano National Park at sunset, and took tons of photos. We ate spam musubi for breakfast, poke and somen noodles for lunch and loco moco for supper. Slept like babies with the windows open wide in the cool nighttime breezes. The best way to blow $5,000 ever. So much what I needed at that point in my life. Bull Pop Bear Pup said, board games, they are expensive, but they bring much joy. Ginger Chick said, my wedding dress probably. If you are counting waste as only wore it for 12 hours. It was about $650, but it is the most beautiful thing I have worn ever will wear. Haunted Pluto Plush said, I wouldn't like to guess how much I spent total on it, but cosplay. Used to be really into it and going to conventions. Nothing bad happened to make me quit, I just noticed that I was starting to have less and less fun with it so I stopped. Perhaps I'll hit up a few events once things are safe again for old time's sake, but I can't see myself being as into it as I was. Still, I had a really good time, met some very nice people, and learned some sewing craft skills which I still use, so it was worth the money. Anonymous said, paying $750 to hang out with some gorillas in the jungle in Rwanda for about an hour. A mother gorilla with her baby gorilla hanging from the hair on her chest was so close to me that she stepped on my foot as she was walking past. Speechless. Deborah Sue said, my husband and I spent $1,200 apiece for tickets for the show Lincoln Park and Friends Celebrate Life in honor of Chester Bennington. It's only considered a waste of money because concert tickets are not that expensive at all, and we knew we were overpaying. However, it was Lincoln Park's last concert, was a 3-hour show, had over a dozen other well-known musicians, and happened to be on my birthday. I'd do it again in a heartbeat, but I'd obviously rather pay normal ticket prices to see Lincoln Park with Chester still around. Can't find my wallet said, my wife and I were on our honeymoon in London in 2016. We had just gotten an influx of cash from friends and family, and we went out to dinner at the Savoy Grill. They had an absurdly overpriced tasting menu with the option of overpriced wine pairings. We ended up dropping about $600, and it was honestly the best meal I've ever had. The service was off the charts, with little stories about each course and its accompanying wine, and they had the timing down perfectly. Just a fantastic experience from top to bottom, and if we didn't do it then, on our honeymoon with a bunch of free money, we were never going to do it. WAZULA42 said, my Mandalorian armor. Even in a year without conventions, I f***ing love it. The Lovely Boners said, my wedding shoes. I've always loved designer clothes and shoes, but I was always way too poor to afford them. My husband and I were paying for our own wedding, so we were on a tight budget again. I spent days researching which designer shoes were the most comfortable because I wanted to make sure I could wear them more than once, and they also had to be tall because I wanted to be almost face to face with my 6'4" husband when we said our vows. I eventually found the most gorgeous pair of Jimmy Choo platform wedges that were absolutely perfect, and they were only $150 used on eBay. After I bought them, the recommended products based on your purchases section showed a pair of neon pink Prada wedges that weren't perfect for the wedding, but I loved them because neons are my favorite and they were brand new and only $80. I showed them to my husband and he dutifully rolled his eyes at me but saw how much I wanted them, so he suggested I should get them for the reception and honeymoon. Our wedding was the perfect excuse to get them, and I'll probably never be able to buy shoes that expensive again. I bought both pairs and I still love them both, and I still wear them several times a year. I feel like such a fancy big itch when I wear them.